Right, so this video was recorded, edited, and pretty much just needing to be uploaded last week. And what did this retard do? He deleted the file off the camera and I hadn't moved it onto the computer, which I normally do. And it's the second time in the last few months that I've done this, and I'm absolutely raging at myself for just being so bloody stupid.
Uh-oh, retard alert!
I'm basically on the clock recording this on a Saturday night to get it out on the Sunday, and I'm also on the clock to go and see Jesus at Mass, because this is my Mass week that I've been going once a month and getting back in the groove of after not being very good over the last 10 years. This video is just basically going to, is what it is. I'm going to try and do it with like limited editing because again, I've not got much time to get it up for tomorrow afternoon, and I also just can't be arsed doing it to the same amazing standard as I normally would. So you're just going to have to deal with it, okay?
Right.
You might also be wondering why I'm here recording on the casting chair, and that is because HQ currently is missing a wall because we're extending it. So this is where videos are going to be, and I've also just repeated myself because in the video that I recorded yesterday, I also started off saying that, but because I didn't anticipate having to re-record this, and that video is going to be going out next week.
Nobody kills me. Nobody fucking kills me.
I'm now just repeating myself, and you can see my bloody frustration. But anyway, what I'm wanting to come here and put a nail in the coffin of today is this whole Solomon Nelson, Mike Israetel now spilling over onto Jeff Nippard situation. And if you recall in my video last week where I was talking about the kind of second part to all of this, and Jeff Nippard has just been brought into it, there was a comment that I made, and it was like the most bizarre thing that I sort of found out the whole situation. There's probably going to be a separate video I make just on that alone, because there was a very, very glaring, like, what the actual fuck thing that come from that. And not only the fact that Solomon is somehow 26-year-old, I thought he was about 46, but no, he's 26. And for some reason, Jeff had a 24-year-old nobody consulting and reviewing his training programs.
What the fuck did I just hear?
And I wanted to just elaborate on this because it might not seem very significant to you watching it, but it's actually pretty significant to me, and I think it both shows a fundamental just problem in Jeff Nippard and his whole standing and authority in the fitness space, and it also just kind of goes to show just one of the real fundamental flaws of the whole appeal to authority science-based lifting. So if you can like this video, and obviously follow me if you don't already, because that would be grateful. And again, I put so much time and effort into these. I actually just record and edit them and put them up twice. Don't really put them up, that's the whole fucking problem. Are you recording me?
No, I'm just laughing because you said, because that would be grateful. Because that would be grateful.
This is also the other thing that I'm having to do as well. I'm having to record in front of somebody, which makes my spazziness increase 10 times. But anyway, while Solomon Nelson has released the Israetel files, he also released the Nipstein files, and he made his own whole dedicated video to Jeff Nippard and just basically details their past relationship with one another. Not a sexual relationship, but working relationship. And it pretty much all stemmed from Solomon, who at the time was literally just a nobody. He was posting gaming clips on his YouTube. Then he posted literally like a few videos of himself doing some training. Then there was like a couple fitness videos, and then they made this Jeff Nippard video, which is basically a critique of Jeff Nippard's bench press program, which wasn't very good, for lack of a better words, which I don't know why I'm saying lack of better words, because that describes it perfectly. There was just massive holes in it, including a workout which was pretty much going to be impossible in terms of the intensities and volume that he prescribed it as, and just the progressions didn't make a whole lot of sense. And Solomon has just went in on it, and rightly so. And that basically got Jeff Nippard's initial attention from him, and then Solomon starts making more fitness content. A wee bit down the line, he critiques Jeff and his girlfriends. It was like female only or booty building speciality workout. I can't remember what it was. And that was also dog shit, because he was like trying to get girls doing like 56 sets a week to grow their glutes, which is just absolutely fucking mental.
What's that? What's that, brother?
Now, everything I'm going to say here is notwithstanding the fact that I pretty much agreed with every single critique that Solomon made in his video talking about Jeff himself, and also the actual videos dissecting the training programs, because I watched them, and yeah, I think he's like saying everything I would pretty much say in terms of like the flaws of Jeff's programs. And I'm also fully well aware that how this works is Solomon's now flavour of the month, and everybody's like, yeah, go Solomon, woohoo, you're the best, yeah. And the fact that whenever there's anything not particularly kind said towards him, that it's going to open me up to be getting abused. But I've had enough of that fucking recently on social media, so don't worry about that. I can take it if you feel like you need to defend Solomon.
Ooh, you're hard.
And I'm not even here to really have a go at him. It's more a reflection on Jeff than it is Solomon, right? And what I just found so totally bizarre, that Jeff Nippard either had like so many like flaws in his programs, and or he felt the need that he needed a 25-year-old nobody to come on board to actually start doing like consulting for him. And I don't think I mentioned that, but after the Booty Builder program, Jeff actually started paying Solomon as a consultant to like go through his programs and stuff like that, which sounds great, doesn't it? You're getting somebody to like look through and proofread your work, give you second opinions, make sure that you've dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's and whatever. But could you just imagine for a second, me, and you know how opinionated I am about things, and obviously I am not, as of right now, as experienced as Jeff in terms of having the number of years spent up. But okay, no, I'm actually going to strike that. I am as experienced, because Jeff doesn't fucking coach. He just makes videos and sells programs. But anyway, point being is, could you imagine me getting a 25-year-old random guy who made one critique video to start now like looking over all my programs and keeping me right? Can you not see how that is a little bit fucked? And you need to remember that Solomon then isn't the same Solomon now. It's not the Solomon that's had like a year's worth of like videos with Lyle McDonald, and that's where he sort of built his reputation from. Let's be honest about it here. He's hooked up with a very well respected coach and just figure in the fitness space, in the scientific fitness space, and that's fine. Everybody gets their break somehow, and obviously they two get on, and that's cool. That is obviously where a lot of his sort of authority comes from, and then also the fact that he is sciencey and he's got degrees and all the rest of it. But you just need to go back and look at like where Solomon was when he was making those videos. He had no real tangible results, achievements of his own. He hadn't coached anyone, or at least not that he had shown, and this is the kind of proper point I want to make from this, because as all these things blow up, I've like went and looked at Solomon, and apart from one client transformation that he put on YouTube and he talked through with somebody he knew through gaming, and it's a fucking great transformation, don't get me wrong, but that is like the only tangible result of anybody he's got. But he's now like offering consultations, which is basically just a fancy word for coaching, which is cool. But as I understand it, he's also offering consultations to coaches to make sure that they're coaching better. But it's like, you're not coaching anyone yourself, so, and haven't coached anyone yourself. So we're now back in this cycle of appealing to authority, where somebody makes a few good videos that's backed by science, and again, Jeff Nippard's in a league of his own in terms of like literally just saying science, making no opinions, giving no anecdotal stuff when it suits him. And when you listen to Solomon talk, he will also, you know, mention things that in terms of the actual real life practicality things, his own experience and whatnot, and I can appreciate that. But it's like, how did we actually get here that Jeff is now like just getting a random guy to start like consulting for him?
I think I can smell shite.
I feel like I'm talking in circles a little bit. I deny anyone to try and justify to me that that isn't a problem, because again, I could understand if it was like even if it was somebody quote unquote below Jeff that had a track record of being a good coach and producing results and whatnot, then yeah, cool, that's fine. I'm not saying necessarily anybody that critiques you has to be above you, but it's like literally just a random guy who started just like posted the first few fitness videos, and then it's like, oh yeah, you're like now a paid consultant for me. It's like, what the actual fuck? Like, And obviously the rebuttal to this is going to be, oh, well, Solomon was right in his critique, so that could kind of basically mean Jeff could trust him or whatever. But again, the fact that you're actually needing to be corrected that severely from somebody like that is a big red flag in itself. And also as well, like, there were very, like, rudimentary mistakes in terms of, like, the bench press impossible workout. Like, anybody with the slightest little bit of knowledge about training would have picked up on that. And then again, the whole 56 sets to, like, grow your glutes, like, or whatever it was. And that was just at the time because the last study had said basically more volume is better. So let's just fucking just put as much volume in as we possibly can. Because that's how that works. Like, again, it's quite an easy thing to pick up and point out as a flaw, but that managed to spawn Jeff being Solomon Nelson's former client. Now, I'm not going to try and sit here and say that everything that I do when it comes to training is absolutely flawless, even though it pretty much is. But at least when anybody, and I've had my fair share of people seeing stuff I've posted, my opinions about what you should be doing with training, and people, like, disagree with me and say it's wrong and this and that, cool. Like, I could never in my wildest dreams imagine being put in my place by somebody who's, like, so much less experienced than me, and to the point, like, I couldn't actually argue against it. And the reason that I can tend to argue against pretty much anything that you'll say, if you want to criticise my views on training, is because I've got, like, a catalogue of results to say, here's how I know it works, deal with it. And we're now just back in the cycle of just Solomon's now the expert, and he's great at what he does because of one video, 2 videos. He knows Lyle McDonald, he's got a degree, he's doing a master's or a PhD or whatever. And again, I'm fully happy to hold my hands up if he is, like, coaching all these people and he just doesn't show it. I would question his marketing skills, but again, I'm just going off what I can see. Other than that one video on YouTube, and then I'm writing in his bio, my clients are really pleased with the work they do with me, or whatever it is. Like, you kind of need to give a wee bit more proof than just writing that in a sentence to, like, prove that you're actually a good coach or consultant or whatever it is that you actually do. So please just bear that in mind when you watch guys like Jeff Nippard, and especially guys like Jeff Nippard, who are just all scientists and just appeal to authority and just recite studies and information, just use that as their, oh, this is how I'm knowledgeable because I've just got a good memory. But also anybody else as well. Like, they say it all the time, and I'll say it till I blow in the face. You want to judge if a coach is good or not, go on their profile, go on their website, look for clients who are just in amazing shape, look for clients that are just super strong, winning competitions, breaking records, just talking about how much they enjoy working with the coach in the form of a testimonial. And especially in today's day and age, video testimonials would probably be ideal because you just don't know anything with ChatGPT now. And I did probably miss out half the other points that I originally made that were all amazing points, but if I did, you'll just have to imagine that I said them. Or you can follow me on Instagram, and I might just end up posting them one day on my story, and you can obviously see just even more of my brilliance. So make sure you follow me if you're not on there. And obviously if you made it to the end of the video, then fair fucking play, so you must have liked it, because I imagine this is going to be a rough watch. So definitely must be liked, must be subscribed to, must be filling out my coaching inquiry form below if you are interested in coaching, because I'm not just going to back up by saying I'm a consultant and just writing a line in my bio. I'm going to just show you, as I always do, the fucking work I do with my clients and how strong they get, how amazing shape they get in a short space of time, and how it transforms a lot of their lives for the better. I'm waffling that much, I've pretty much put Crumble to sleep. He's lifeless over there. Must be a terrible video, but hopefully it comes out alright in editing, or whatever editing I can be arsed doing it, and I'll catch you soon.